Hey, it's Prometheus giving you another full breakdown of an offensive scheme out of the Panthers playbook. If you are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that I actually will do a full breakdown of an offensive scheme that you can take on the field with one set formation, your audibles, base play. And then what I do after I show you this, a few days later, I'll post a live game of me actually using the scheme so you can see how it works, how successful it was, how it didn't work out as planned as I want. So it's actually going to be live. So it's a very good learning curve for you. You can pick up on my live games and see how I read defenses based on the alignments and the calls that I play out of the scheme. Some schemes work great, other schemes don't work that good, and sometimes I have to get out of the schemes and get into older stuff. So it's a good learning curve when I'm playing with a team. Now this playbook, which is the Panthers playbook, has a lot of great formations. There's a lot of good stuff in this formation. I decided to use the gun set primarily because I haven't recently, but the strength of the Panthers team is their two wideouts, either the tight ends or a fullback and the running back, and you basically want to get rid of the ball really quick because the offensive line can't block for a damn against the pass, but it has fairly okay, mediocre run blocking. So what I like to do is I want to get rid of my third wide receiver because he's really not going to make that much of a difference. And now I'm going to go ahead and sub in my dual tight end package. I use the faster tight end on the Panthers, which is Williams. Okay, my base play is going to be either some kind of an inside run, it's going to be the inside zone, or if I'm having success, I'll go with the 0-1 trap, or I can use the halfback draw. I'm either going to start with the inside zone or the 0-1 trap as my base run. I might switch those two up. The reason I'm going to do this is because I want to get my opponent to start defending the inside run. And if he starts going into a lot of zone, I'll hit him with the halfback draw. Zones essentially fall back, and the draw will actually eat them up. So really, as you can see right here, I've got my opponent. He's got a spread formation, just do an inside zone right down the middle, and able to pick up 5 or 6 yards. You know, one of the things that makes it very difficult against any player is actually defending the run, because it forces you to actually go ahead and attack the run, stack the box, and you lose a lot of the things that you probably want to do against the run. So inside zone is a good, nice little base play. Now, conversely, if I see off coverage, it's most likely going to be either some kind of a blitz or some kind of a zone. If it's a zone, I know the draw play is actually going to be work really good against that. So if I start seeing the tendencies that my opponent is actually calling a lot of zone plays, I can switch that inside zone into a draw, because then you get that slight little delay and you'll be able to get an easy lane right up the middle. Looks like I've got a cover 6 right here, so I know this is going to be zone coverage. I got one corner pressing, you get another one off. So for the most part, I should probably get very good blocking, as you can see right there. So that's why you want to figure in a zone play or a draw play into your play calling when it comes to running, because you'll be able to go ahead and abuse your opponent that runs a lot of zone. All right, so the first audible that I'm going to actually be breaking down is going to be the halfback counter, and this is going to be my outside run. And basically, if I've got my opponent is actually stacking the box or he's pressing, I can use the halfback counter to actually get some outside running. And because I'm using two tight end sets, you know that I'm going to have extra blocking. As you can see right here, I'm able to go ahead and pick it off. Conversely, if I've got an alignment that actually favors me on the other side, I could just flip the play really quick. None of my other players are actually going to be moving at all, just the running back. So that audible is going to be really quick. So if you want to go ahead and attack your opponent that way, you can do that, or you can hit him with the inside read, just to change things up with the running game. As you can see right here, I got a nice little angle to be able to pick up some good yards. But I don't really want to break down the running game as much as I want to break down the passing plays. All right, so the first pass play we're going to look at is spot flat, and basically this play is designed to attack the middle of the field, force my opponent to actually come down, change his zones, pull any kind of outside zones away, and actually go ahead and defend the inside of the field. Now, what I like to do with adjustments on this particular play is I like to go ahead and take my running back and leave him in the block. So I have 6 blockers for me that allows my deeper routes to develop if I have to get to those. My first read is always going to be Benjamin on the right side of the field. I'm going to look at the coverage. If the corner is down and pressing and Benjamin gets pressed off the offensive line, it's probably going to be some kind of zone or actually man coverage. That means I'm going to have to look at my hot read, which is Olsen. Olsen's going to get a free release against most defenses, and I'll be able to hit him on a corner route. Hopefully I'll have enough time to hit him. Generally I will. I'll just try to go ahead and hit him immediately as soon as I do that. Now, if this zone opens up, you'll see that Kotri will be wide open with Benjamin in his zone coverage. So let's go ahead and run this play once. And as you can see right there, the zone actually was wide open. Let's take a look at this in instant replay. All right, so this is a zone right here. As you can see, I've got the guys falling back in coverage. My tight end does get checked. And as you can see, I had another defender in the area over by Benjamin. As you can right down here, Kotri is doing a little whip route. He's wide open, and I was able to go ahead and pick up an easy 7 yards against that. These defenders also have to go ahead and follow these tight ends. That's why these inside routes. That's why these inside routes are wide open. They're wide open because they actually have to fall back to these tight ends. These tight ends will actually bring them out a little bit further. And as you can see, if I had a really good accurate quarterback, I could probably go ahead and hit the tight end on the corner route. But I don't want to do that with a quarterback of a Cam Newton because the caliber is not there. So let's go ahead and run this play a couple times so you can see how it works. Looks like we got a sugar blitz right here. And I can hit the little check down with Benjamin. Benjamin's a big body to pick up. Once again, I got another zone right there, able to go ahead and hit Benjamin right away. All right, so I've got a press situation with my corners. So if Benjamin gets pressed, my actual red route by Olsen should get open on man coverage. He gets pressed, hit the outs. Quickly, that ball got rid of the ball really quickly, and I was able to go ahead and pick up some pretty good yards. So against man coverage, you're actually going to try to hit Olsen on the out route, got pressed again, and as you can see, he gets a free release to be able to pick up some good yards for that. So it's really going to be focusing on the right side of the field. You also have the whip on the other side of the field if you wanted to go ahead and let that develop. As you can see, it's a little out route right there, able to pick up some pretty good yards. So let's take a look at the next play of this formation. All right, so the next play we're going to look at is going to be the dig post. And what I like about this is because I've got ways to hit the outside of the formation at lower levels. I've also got that unique angle route this is really good against zone coverages. With Benjamin, especially if I got my opponent sucking down and trying to defend the underneath routes, I've got Benjamin for a big pickup over the middle. And then I've got that drag route, which is going to be my first read. Now what I want to do is I want to take that running back out of that crossing route. I'm going to go ahead and take him. I'm going to take Williams and put D'Angelo Williams and put him in a check and release. The reason why is I want to keep attacking that flat over there if nobody comes in on a blitz. Now, the standard route with Kotri is going to be my first read, and this is going to tell me whether I'm going to be going against man coverage or zone coverage. And it's my check down route. It's going to be my hot route that I'll hit immediately in a situation where I don't have long yardage to worry about. Now, the way this route looks, on paper, it looks like it's a standard drag route, but it really isn't. This route is actually an option drag route, which will sit somewhere around where Olsen is actually lined up in the formation right now. Now, for some particular reason, this route doesn't allow an easy pass, and it's very sporadic. So let me show you how this works. As you can see, the ball is thrown behind him. All right, so what I want to do is actually take Kotri and put him on an actual hot routed drag route, because what he will do is will keep running towards the sideline, and the quarterback is expecting that route. So let's see if we can hit him now and show you the difference between the two throws. And as you can see right there, he does not throw the ball in a certain area, and it's a all right, so my progressions once again is I'm going to go ahead and take Kotry and hot route him into a drag route, and I'm going to do a check and release with Williams. My first read is going to be Kotry. I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if this defensive back that's lined up over him follows him. If he follows him across the formation, I know it's man coverage, and that opens up my reads from there. I can still hit Kotry on man coverage because he should be wide open. My next read against man coverage, if Kotry gets followed by this corner, is going to be the tight end on that unique little out route. He should get separation 90% of the time. The corner or the defensive back or the linebacker should not be around him at all. Followed by any kind of man coverage. Olsen's a very good route runner. He should get inside and underneath the corner. And then I'm not going to get to this route, which is a unique angle route by Benjamin, primarily because it just takes so long against man coverage. But on zone coverages, things do a little bit different. Now, this is off coverage, so it's either some kind of a blitz or it is going to be zone coverage. So let's go ahead and take a look at regressions. If it is zone coverage, I'm going to hit Kotry under the middle. I'm going to go ahead and take my yards. I'll take 5 or 6 yards and actually force my opponent to play coverage underneath and press and underneath coverage. So it is a blitz, and as you can see, I'm able to go ahead and get the ball off really quickly on that man coverage because the corner is off. This is off coverage, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look for Kotry, or I've got the flat with Williams, and I have Kotry to come up and block for me. Got off coverage again, so I'm going to look to Kotry right away. But it was man coverage because the defender actually followed him, and I'm able to go ahead and hit the outside with man coverage. Now, depending on how the defensive backs work, if it's a zone coverage, if my defender is actually starting to play down, trying to take the crossing routes out of the formation, I know that this tight end right here is going to open up the zone a little bit. And since I've got my running back going out to the flat, that's actually going to pull anybody that's going to be in the flat, allowing me to go ahead over the middle for an easy 20-yard gain with that unique little angle route. So it is kind of a levels progression, and allows me to hit things at certain levels that my opponent has to defend against. So now, this looks like a cover 2 man. If Kotry gets blocked off the line, I know Williams is probably going to be able to get a free release on the outside. This Williams over here, the tight end. So let's go ahead and see what happens. It's actually a switch right there, but I'm still able to hit that because there's really nobody in the air. Off coverage, so I'm going to be looking to Kotry first. No one follows. And look at that, there's really nobody over there over the middle, able to go ahead and pick up a good 15 yards. So this is a really, this is a really good play to basically attack the outsides against your opponent, make them forced to make different kinds of adjustments where they're actually checking down, and you can actually go ahead and attack them up the middle. So it complements that spot dig because they're used to actually going ahead and just trying to defend those little routes underneath. So let's take a look at the last play. All right, and the final play that we're going to break down is going to be bench out of the gun tight offset tight end formation. Now bench has been a play that's probably been broken down several times over the last few years, especially with a lot of the YouTube commentating. And have you ever bought any one of these Madden playbooks or team playbooks and sets and formations and all these schemes? If you've ever paid for it, I'm sure that bench is broken down in any of those books that you might have gotten online. So this play is so great because it complements the other plays that we're using, such as the spot flat and the dig post, because we have a lot of those inside reads. Bench has got outside reads. Now, if you've got man-to coverage and you're playing against a team with elite corners like the Seattle Seahawks, you need to understand that there's going to be certain routes that are going to get it wide open. Now, once again, the corner routes by the tight ends against man coverage should get separation, should get outside. So you can pretty much be guaranteed to be able to pick up some pretty good yards with that. So we'll just leave this play stock so you can see how my reads are going to be with the tight ends at the higher levels with the deep corners. And once again, Olsen's able to go ahead and pick up a good 20 yards, 25 yards on that play. Now, another adjustment that you can do is you can actually go ahead and hitch up your outside wide receivers. and you can do so with giving him some depth. And a complement, what I like to do in case my opponent might be mixing in some cover 2 zone with a press, is to take the tight end on the side of the hitch route, the hot routed hitch route, the smart routed hitch route, and basically put him on a slant. So what I'll do is go ahead and hit the hitch route, be able to pick up an easy yards like. Now, why you want to use this type of a setup is that if your opponent is showing you cover 2 man look, it could be a cover 2 zone with a cover 2 zone press, and as you can see, you actually can hit Olsen underneath to be able to pick up an easy 5 yards. So actually this hitch route is getting bracketed by the actual corner and the linebacker, so that's going to be taken away because you know it's zone. But you have your slant route actually getting complemented by a deep corner route, so you know that this defender actually has to pick his poison on who he wants to go after, leaving this tight end wide open for an easy completion. If your opponent is using a lot of like cover 3 coverages and stuff like that, pressing, coming down, you can also do adjustments such as this. You can go ahead and take Kotri, put him on a streak. You can take Benjamin, put him on a streak. You put Kotri on a slant. And all you really have to do is just wait until Kotri gets wide open. You'll be able to pick up some pretty easy yards like that. Conversely, you can go the opposite direction too. As you can see right there, able to go ahead and pick up an easy 5 or 6 yards against your opponent. And if you wanted to, you could fade up one of your wide receivers, and basically you can hit the seams down the middle against the cover 3 shell. Or you can do drags and slants, a lot of crossing routes, causing a lot of confusion against your opponent. So that's why bench is so good. Well, I just hope that you like this breakdown of this formation. I'm going to be running this in my next full game. You'll see some of the things that worked out good for me. You'll maybe see some of the roster adjustments I'll do to this team to make it a little bit more effective. Once again, if you like this stuff, if you really appreciate these breakdowns, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any plays that you want to be broken down, let me know. I'm actually working my way through the playbook. I'll be doing Patriots breakdown soon, Steelers, Ravens, and I'm working my way from the P's to the R's, to the S's to the R's, all the way up until the Vikings and breaking down books. So once again, I really appreciate all my subscribers. Until next time.